So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and we are once again back with the ultimate connection with God, the 7-step guide to Jewish spirituality, written by Rabbi Yosef Chaim Mimran. Rabbi Mimran is a very hard-working rabbi. He's working as hard as he possibly can to bring us this information and these ideas, and I'm happy to be involved in this because I want to learn it better. So here we are in this chapter. It's called Who is Really in Control? It's called Part 5. Let's come over here and let's look at this introduction. Vatam ubo tedabek. So the reason that we're thinking about in him you should cleave. So he said Pirusho. So he explains like this. Efsher the dabek b'shchina. Is it possible to cling to the Shechina? Avki hi eish ochla, because the Shechina is a fire, a consuming fire. Ki haneshama chatacharot was ner Hashem, because the neshama, this holy neshama, is called a candle to Hashem, a light of Hashem. V'hadloka ba'eish hashchina, and it's lit by the fire of the Shechina. V'obo, and that fire, tibuka v'iluye uchukoso. This is really what the ultimate desire should be. So he writes in English and he translates it, and this was taken from the Rekanati. The Rekanati is someone, in a great Kabbalist. This is like an Italian last name, and there's a wine that in Jewish stores called a Rekanati. This was a Mekubal who learned maybe 1,000 years ago. So he said, it is possible to attach to the Holy Shechina. It is possible to attach to the Holy Shechina, even though it is comparable to a consuming flame. That is, the Shechina is on fire. This is possible. Why? Since the soul is also considered as a flame, because the soul itself, he said, it's a Ner Hashem, is a candle. A candle has a flame, and lit from the light of the Holy Shechina. And who lights the candle? The candle is lit by the Shechina. And that place is true Dveikus. That is where actually the Dveikus of Hashem lies. Now he says, ask yourself this. Are you able to be free of your mind's control whenever you choose? Can you simply turn off your mind if that is what you decide to do? Do you even know how to find your mind's off button? If you answered no to these questions, then you could be fairly certain that your mind is in charge of you and not the other way around. Your mind is using you. In that case, you have so thoroughly identified yourself with your mind that you aren't even aware that your mind is enslaving you. It's as if your mind has possessed you to such an extent that you believe you are your mind. If you can recognize that you are possessed by the mind, so you have to have some recognition of the fact, Rabbi Mimran is saying, that actually your mind is controlling you. And you know that the entity that has possessed you is not you. So you have to come to realize that your thoughts, Rabbi Mimran is saying that your thoughts are not you. They're going on by themselves, that's true. Then you have taken the first step toward a life of attachment to your innermost being. If you understand that your thoughts and your soul are two different things, so therefore we can understand how it's possible to live a life of attachment, which he says, to your innermost being, leading you to an attachment to the Ribbon Shalom. When you understand that you are not the thinker, the you, who is you, then you can take a step back to gain an objective view of the mind. Then you could start looking at your mind, train yourself to look at your mind and what you were thinking, so you can observe and come to know what it is. He says, let us stop for a moment to put this theory of being a watcher of the mind into practice. Now, I know that this is one of the main themes of Rabbi Mimran. So he wants to say that we need to get in control of our minds and learn how to look at our thoughts. Now he's going to give us some practical advice. And this is for people, any people, in the moment of suffering, in the moment of trouble, to be able to get a hold of the thoughts that are going through your mind and look at them, is really an opening to a world beyond. We don't really know how to do that because we think that our mind is us. So now he's giving us you an alternative. So he says, close your eyes and simply be aware of the random thoughts that come and go through your mind. Watch what's coming through. Imagine that you're an objective bystander, watching all the activity in your head, including the very thought that is telling you to watch your thoughts, and also watch the thought that says watch your thoughts. This might feel strange at first, but very soon, with a bit of practice, you'll see that it is actually possible to be conscious of every thought that enters your mind and demands attention. If you give in to that demand, allowing your attention to be drawn to the thought, that thought will have succeeded in possessing you. And you are no longer the master of your mind. Now we understand this in terms of, I understand it, in terms of we have emotions. And the emotions breed thoughts. And so as a result of that, as long as I'm thinking that you're in such an emotional state that you can't look at your thoughts, then the thoughts have you. So once you begin to observe your thoughts for what they are, what are your thoughts? Entities that are actually separate from yourself. You will find that you have access to a higher level of consciousness. And on this level, there are many things you suddenly come to understand. You begin to realize that thought is by no means all there is to our human intelligence. Suddenly you know that there is a vast amount of intelligence that can take you to realms above and beyond the limitations of thought alone. Thought is only one infinitesimal facet of that intelligence. In fact, all the things that truly matter, beauty, joy, creativity, love, inner peace, come from a realm that is beyond what the mind can conjure. And when you realize that, you begin to awaken to a stunning new reality. So this is where Rabbi Mimran comes out with a little saying at the end. He says, there is a vast amount of intelligence that can take you to realms above and beyond the limitations of thought alone. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and we're saying this year also on the Dveikus channel, which was developed by Rabbi Mimran himself. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.